benefits of social learning as well. This is well within the librarian's already required skill set and naturally comes along with digital literacy mentorship.
Lamplighter has a couple of aims, some of which you might notice coincide eerily with Slicks, which is very, very useful. We won't go through all of them. We'll just go through the top three as we see it. First of all is reading, literacy and learning. That much is clear. Better social engagement means better learning. Like, learning rates go through the roof when people learn in groups, so that's fantastic. Next up, digital inclusion. This, amazing amount of knowledge is fantastic for those who can access it, but there's many, many people out there, often demographic of libraries, aren't perhaps so hot on that kind of thing. So Lamplighter seeks to fix that. Finally, social well-being. Even if it's just once or twice a month, meeting up with people, achieving something together, talking about something you're interested in, would do wonders for mental health for the social community. Oh, still me. We'd like to run through some user stories. These have all been based off quotes we've found from the public interviewing in libraries. This one in particular, Lester Beck. We talked to a young man who's come out of university and was doing some online courses for his work. He said he loved the communal spaces at university, and the study groups he found really, really useful for learning, but couldn't find the similar kind of facilities after university. This has been fictionalized. He wasn't this man. About 28, not a traditional library user, perhaps when he was younger, but not anymore. He works at a law firm and is therefore really, really busy. He wants to start an online course, but is a bit worried about his motivation, because he gets home, he's worked all day, he just wants to watch TV and play some video games. Anyway, this is how we think Lamplighter can help him. He subscribes to an online course, gets started, it's all fine, but finds his motivation lacking. So he finds out about Lamplighter, perhaps through an in-work learning initiative, or through lifelong learning, or social media campaigns. Libraries can have great impact when they engage in social media, so we'd be pushing that. He goes along to the meetings and finds it's really enjoyable. The social discussions are brilliant, and so when he goes back home, he learns more to contribute to that. By the end, he gets credited by the course providers, but also by Lamplighter for taking part in the social side of things. We do that through, we're thinking Mozilla Open Badges, which is like an open source accreditation sort of program. It's very, very clever.
This is Lizzie. She's also a library user we met. She said she likes to use computers, but being in front of a screen all day can be quite alienating. She's a regular library user, as I said. She uses computers from time to time. She's interested in taking an online course, but maybe a bit not confident in the tech side. So things are a bit different for Lizzie. At first, she'll attend a short tutorial/workshop with a librarian to go through how these courses work, how to navigate them, how to use the material well. She subscribes to an online course, comes along to the meetings more regularly than Lester would, because she really values that face-to-face learning opportunity. And again, at the end, she'll get accreditation from her course and from us. The process.
We're going to try and run you through the process of how you would engage with Lamplighter. There'll be a lot more slides, going to go through it quite quickly, so I hope you're up to it. So we've identified three sort of scenarios where you'd be using Lamplighter. The first of which is you know about Lamplighter and you don't know what course you want to get on. That's pretty simple. Top of the page there, search for courses, find something you're interested, go along. Second is you're already on a course and you just found out about Lamplighter. Again, equally simple, search, find a course, great, join in. The third case is probably the more interesting one, so we're going to run you through that. This is you know about Lamplighter and you know what course you want to do. So the process is you sign up, fill in your name, your email address, that kind of thing, but most importantly, your postcode, because all of this is geographically located. Following that, you'd fill out some interests among topics, sort of things up there are quite clear. Take 2 or 3, whatever you like. This would allow the local librarians to see a sort of interest map around them in a very visual way, a sort of heat map of what the local community is interested in, what they might like to partake in. Judging from that, and then what the librarians start, or what the social groups are already going, there's a list of courses you can choose from. There's one up there on public speaking, so you can tell me after if I should sign up to that. Then, of course, we've got a course page, information about it, and direct links to Coursera or edX or ULab, whoever's providing the course. And also some more local details, a map of where it is, an address, and also a timetable decided between the librarian when they're free and whoever's taking part. It can all be negotiated. That's totally free and open.
Future growth. There's lots of potential for this product. We will start with supported Scotland-wide release, ensuring that all communities can have access to this great tool. Next would be to introduce other educators, not just the librarians, so schools, trade unions. And then begin an alumni mentorship program, so people who have come to the groups can become mentors themselves, start up their own groups in the course of study of their choice. Next would be to integrate with the library system. These heat maps will be spectacular tools to really judge the area's interest, and having that integrated in the library systems would be invaluable. Next, create new courses, so that's more community-based stuff, so personal development like up there, but also things like language, employability. And then finally, develop platform for global release. This is so flexible, it can be used anywhere, replaced with one laptop with two, somewhere that people only meet once a month, once every few months.
Finally, I want to say thank you very much for having us for the course, and we'll gladly take some questions. Thank you very much.
Absolutely fascinating. Maybe Dan could just tell us a little bit more about the digital inclusion side of this, which is quite tech heavy. So tell us about how you imagine digital inclusion will be improved.
Yeah, so a lot of it will be based around community outreach, but also within the library itself. People use the library, might be not tech savvy, so they'll come along and they'll learn this digital tech skills through communicating with other people, learning from not even the librarians itself, but other people on their courses. So that's reaching people maybe the library wouldn't have originally met with their services, but providing a new service that other people may be interested in learning about.
Yeah, we had some options trying to offer the same platform for companies which are interested in providing education to their employees. So once this platform is established well, and those communities in libraries are established as well, so then companies can outsource their education of their employees to these centers. One of the options.
Yeah. So we were very, very aware, talking to library staff, about librarians already kind of pushed for time. So we didn't want to rely too heavily on them as kind of like teachers in the strict kind of primary school sense. What we looked more for was a model of educational facilitation. So it's not necessarily teaching things as it is provoking communication and talk and peer-to-peer study. So within that, it means that it's not necessarily clever, fancy, interest compatibility algorithms going on. It's a librarian with on-the-ground, frontline knowledge of their community, helped by the data that we've gathered from the sign-up process, thinking, well, yeah, okay, cool. So like an English literature course clearly has got like by the numbers interest. And I know I've got some people who come in and talk to me about English lit. It'd be great to take part in that, and then they can start that process. And that's, you know, a little bit of admin online, not much. Look at a map, start a group, put the details up, and then maybe 1 or 2 hours a week having a study session, talking to people. Did you have something to add? Yeah.
Also, another option was to just have generic groups, so maybe once or twice just anyone could come along and you can bounce off each other from different skill sets.
That was a great presentation, thanks.
Thank you.
I was going to go where Martin's gone with digital exclusion, so I'll skip over that one. The other one that interests me is you've mentioned, you know, the libraries are obviously the key to this, which is what you would expect. You've mentioned companies and how they might engage. What in terms of attacking that social exclusion from the digital, what other partners could you envisage getting involved in this?
That's a really good question. Have you got any thoughts? He's mute, actually, I'm afraid. You got up. Cool.
That's going to be kind of partnership a bit different from what we previously thought about. It's since we have companies and online platforms which actually provide those content, right? So we obviously they would be really interested in working together with us because we would be actually distributing that content. And of course, there is potential for those companies to sell parts of their courses because some courses are actually paid. and from this we can actually take commission as well. Does this answer your question?
Kind of. I suppose a quick follow-up on that, Dan, I think is going to say, but I was thinking more maybe of, for example, other community groups, other sector groups.
Precisely. There's loads of community groups that they're doing fantastic work. They're in their own courses or even helping vulnerable people get onto courses. So having those partnerships with those groups would be essential, really, to get that outreach and get these new people learning new things. Yeah.
Interestingly, that was part of our original discussion around the idea, was about harnessing great work that goes on in communities already, and that's why we wanted to really leverage librarians' knowledge of that, because they're people who are embedded in the community, they're community figures, and they know that kind of thing. There's nothing that we can do in Codebase that will make us know the community problems and the community skills any better than someone who lives there.
That's great, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have the international beanbag situation with Storing Stories.
Hi, we're at Team International Beanbag Situation. I'm Ines, Kofi, and this is Kushbu over there. So let me ask you a question. Wouldn't it be great if we know what people in our community value about libraries? It would be. But many people argue that libraries need to change to suit the modern world. They need to prove that they're still relevant. And this criticism is not being ignored. Libraries all over Scotland are implementing different initiatives to increase the value that they add to the community. I'm talking 3D printing, coding workshops, and CV assistance. Hundreds of people benefit from these services. And libraries have all of this quantitative data. They know how many people visit the library, how many people attend different workshops, or how many people, say, use CV assistance workshops. However, the problem presents itself when when libraries need to prove to government agencies that they are actually positively impacting people's lives. And there's currently no efficient method to collect and process that qualitative information, that data, that libraries need to prove that they are actually empowering people in the economic sense, and also sharing culture, encouraging lifelong learning. We worked with our librarian, Louise, from Stirling, and she told us about some of the challenges that they're facing. Sorry. We don't have sound, Alan. Very ironic, isn't it? Hackathon with tech problems. It's all good. Let's just pretend this never happened. How's your day, guys? If you haven't done that yet, try the beanbags later. Very comfortable. Very comfortable. This is not us. Just in case you're confused.
So we think libraries are great at offering a huge range of
So in case you've forgotten, Louise, Sterling Libraries. We're talking about impact and measuring it. I mean,
services, from books to support for literacy, numeracy, digital participation, learning, and all of that. Libraries are great at offering a huge range of services, from books to support for literacy, numeracy, digital participation, learning, and all of that quantitative data we can provide. But the question is always, so what? And we really want to find a way to measure impact. And if we could gather from people an easy way through an app or an online form to say, I've just visited my local library, this is a difference it's made to me. It would be a database of information that library services, funding bodies and the Scottish Government could interrogate.
so last year, librarians in Stirling asked people to submit their story of how the library impacted them. And at first they thought that they wouldn't get any responses, but hundreds of stories started flooding in. Stories like those behind me, for example, James, a dyslexic child who only learned how to read by attending library workshops, or an elderly lady whose only place to go during the festive period was the library. So the librarians were amazed by all of these stories, but they had one problem. They had no way of collecting and processing that data. Manually collecting that data is not only inefficient, but it's also very time consuming. So this is where our solution comes in. Storing stories, informing the future. It's a digital tool that allows librarians to collect, store, and process all of that qualitative data that they need when applying for funding, for example. So here's a demonstration.
So imagine this. Jenny, who's a librarian at the Edinburgh Central Library, picks up an iPad at her desk and launches the Storing Stories application. Then Hamish comes up to ask a question. He usually just comes to the library, used the Wi-Fi, came to a few CV workshops, and after helping him out with his question, she asks him if he wants to store a story. Now, he's never heard of the service. He's a bit confused. He says yes. And this is the first page that he encounters. So what we have here is a very simple interface, lots of graphics, asking him how the library has helped him, using images that relate to the different strategic aims of Scottish libraries. Anyone could use this. Even people with literacy problems could conceivably, be helped by the visual aids. He chooses the social option. It asks him whether, specifically made new friends, joined the group, felt welcome. Picks made new friends, because at that TV workshop he made some amazing guys who he now goes to the pub with every Thursday. And he's asked to share a story in a line. Very simple, very easy, because we don't want people to be put off by long, boring questionnaires with 30 essay questions. And then, later the next day, we have Laura, who works at Slick, wants to evaluate how libraries in Edinburgh are doing in terms of impact. So she launches the application from her side and is given a number of different options for interpreting the data. Have one right here, a kind of a map system. So how that works is that she can, play around. All of these icons represent different responses that fall into the different categories of the strategic aims of Scottish libraries. The bagpipe for cultural sharing and such. And so she can click on an icon and learn more about that particular response that the person gave. And it's a great visual aid for her when it comes to determining the impact. So for instance, we can see that there have been a lot of responses relating to culture, lots of bagpipes, but only one or two responses relating to social inclusion. And so obviously maybe that's something that they could work on, and she could make decisions about the future of the library using that. So in this example, we showed you how the situation would go with one iPad in one library. But with development, we would envision that it could be available in libraries all over the country and through many different channels using existing library websites, existing library apps, maybe having different versions that are more interactive and simpler for children, versions that are more accessible to older people, connecting it to social media, possibly even using the Google Cardboard development kit to have a virtual reality interface for it, getting people excited using new and exciting technology.
But what's at the core of this service, it's not about apps or software development or fancy new technology. It's just about ensuring that in the future, libraries do remain the pillars of our community. Thank you. Kushbu, everyone.
Thanks. That was great. I'm going to dive in first this time, so Martin doesn't steal my question this time. You're really hitting the nail on the head here in terms of us needing to demonstrate impact for libraries. When you were building this, did you think about other data sources that might come into it as well as the user data that you're collecting? Kind of other available data sets that we could use to build this up?
So definitely, as we said, we know that the libraries have a mass of quantitative data that would definitely be useful in this service. One thing that came up is the possibility of having added functionality that would comb through this data to find people who regularly use the library services and stuff, to then suggest to the librarians, yes, these are a few people who would be great candidates for storing a story, if you could go up to them and ask them a few questions. So definitely we do feel that all of that quantitative data that's already there isn't useless and can definitely have a purpose in our application.
Okay, great. So unless I'm mistaken, that was actually a real app that you guys built, right? Because you could actually see the links, or was that all fudged up?
Yeah, it's a real app.
Yeah, it's a real app. So congratulations on that. That was actually quite a lot of work. So my question on that was, so I really like the map interface that you could click. So is there some way that is there some reason why you chose that interface over just having pretty much a table, HTML table, which you could see all the responses in?
Well, our main aim with the whole app was to be as graphical as possible at every level, not only for the users, but also the people who need to access this information later to see how the libraries are impacting the area and the people there. So it's definitely like when you look at it, everything is right there. You don't have to go through rows or read text. You can just click on it and you get the stories.
Hi, I really enjoyed your presentation and the thought that you put into it. I just wondered if you thought about who you might work with to actually make sure that this was embedded, or what agencies you might work with.
So we definitely considered the possibility of presenting this product to one of the governing agencies that has to do with lots of libraries, such as SLIC. And what the plan would be to have a pilot in one community, see how the product goes, and then through that agency expand to the product to be used in many different libraries in Scotland to begin with, and then after that possibly the UK.
Great, you've hit on one of the key issues, I think, for public libraries at strategic level. Tell me how you would capture demographic information, age or gender, or that quite specific information about a person in your app.
Well, see, this is even going back to his first question about all of this quantitative data that they already have, because definitely because of the presentation time was short, we didn't get to show all of the features, but it would be possible for someone to begin, before they begin filling out the form or selecting the icons, to maybe put in their library number, and with their library number in the database is already information of the person's name, their age, their address, everything. And even if the person wasn't a regular library user, you could have it instead, as we said, connected to social media. So you just log in with Facebook before you started storing your story, which would just as well provide us with all of that information you were saying about location and age that could be then used to further filter all of this information. So, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, and next up we have Team Supernova with Go Library.
Very good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nikita. We're Team Supernova. And in the next, hopefully 6 minutes, not longer, but we're going to talk you through about our vision of the journey, exciting journey, of going from great to great. Now, traditionally, libraries were the center, as you all know, the centers of knowledge, learning, meeting new cultures, and connecting people. Why am I talking about this? And absolutely vitally important for absolutely everybody. Why am I talking about this? Because we want to build upon this. We don't want to revolutionize, we want to create evolution. So we've done a case, and it's actually based on a field research, not a huge one, but a very, very exciting one. We've gone out to libraries and spoken to people who open up as fountains of knowledge, ideas, and experiences. So here are our findings. Firstly, as you all know, it's an amazing wide network of beautiful spaces, sometimes very historical buildings in city centers, town centers, and in all sorts of locations around the country. What we were stunned by is the diversity of exciting events, talks, activities, and hands-on experiences that are happening in libraries right now. Modern equipment. So, for example, the 3D printing machine that people can not only learn about, but actually fiddle with it, get excited about it, maybe perhaps follow a career in that field. And then, last but not least, very, very passionate people that are truly, truly, truly fans of what they're doing. So, but on the other hand, what we noticed that there was a need for more effective marketing of all these fantastic events. We thought that it was quite difficult to register as a host of a new event. Certainly there were some financial constraints that people spoke to us about. And then a lot of beautiful rooms, beautiful facilities and spaces are just not used enough. And when they are used, very often people are on their own, maybe a couple of strangers walking by, but that's kind of what we learned from this case. So, foreseeing opportunities. We believe and we promise to you that we're going to make libraries become more exciting again. We would lead, not follow, but we would lead the revolution in learning and bring people together. Again. So our vision is we're kind of going from two directions here. It's the wider diversity of events and happenings at the libraries, but also much better communication of this information to all sorts of people in the society. So, very excited to present to you Go Library. It's a platform. It's a platform that is bringing very up-to-date information in a very technologically advanced manner to all sorts of people. And at the same time, it's a platform for people to host their own events at the spaces of libraries, at the facilities of libraries, and become host lecturers, teachers. Now, we need to bring in some hot topics. And once again, we don't want to invent something new. We found out there were some fantastic things going on. Lots of IT-based, IT-orientated classes. Loads of things for kids and teenagers that are just completely booked out. So we want to build upon that, but maybe slightly change the topic so it's applying for a different type of audience. Try to, instead of just a public speech, but have it as an interactive event where people getting involved, where they're sharing ideas, where they're trying out new things, where they're hands-on the new technology. So just a variety of formats how we would bring people together. And why would you go to a library rather than sitting behind your computer and learning all that stuff at home, which you of course can do? Firstly, it's the interactive communication, it's the hands-on experience that I spoke about, and meeting like-minded people and actually sharing ideas with them, getting a debate going, getting a discussion, yeah, understanding that you're not alone with these things. It could be all sorts of things, from health issues to upbringing of your kids. You know, a lot of things to share, a lot of things to learn about. So, and what is there for potential new teachers, for the hosts? Well, firstly, we feel that it's incredibly exciting to share your new ideas. So it could be somebody who's done a bit of research. It could be somebody that came back from exciting travel. You know, somebody who's done something very, very interesting experience in his life, and he wants to share to people about this. And our platform would not only give him an opportunity to do that in a library, in public library space, but it would also communicate that to the right audiences of people who might be interested in those things. So we are targeting new audiences, and perhaps these are not new audiences, but these are. And how would we get people excited about the events? So we identified three very important bits. First, it's the relevance. It's got to be so Go Library platform is bringing the most exciting content to particular users. We're not segmenting people. We are saying that an individual person, and by inputting certain data about him, or an app would be learning about his previous participations, and kind of bring the right content to him. So it's going to be very relevant. Secondly, convenience. Yeah, it's about building the platform around the actual needs of the users, and also both guests and potential hosts. And finally, the quality. This is a very interesting bit. This platform is a dynamic platform, so it's always evolving with using the smart rating and feedback system. So every time there is a fantastic new speaker, we understand that people really liked his events. We foster him going out to new locations to create more events. So it's a constantly dynamic, evolving platform. Now, definitely we want to be connected to all the digital social media, completely integrated there, because we all know that sharing is caring. And at this stage you're thinking, wow, well that sounds not bad, but a lot of questions. So how would that work? How would that look like? How would that get integrated? And let me tell you, we actually built a working prototype of this platform, which we're very excited to share with you. And I'm going to pass over to my colleague Vikram, who's going to take you through his journey.
So I'm quickly just going to run through what this platform looks like. You might have heard a lot of abstract ideas, but it's a very simple platform at the end of the day. So you search by location and categories, and it brings you a whole list of events, and people can see all sorts of different events, and it tells you the location at the library. This is an example of an event. It shows you the day, date, time, and a map on the side of where it is. You can also find local libraries. We found that the council only has one website and very limited information on each library. So this brings all that information together in one place for people to personalize their content and have it easily delivered to them. So this shows where a library is for a particular user who's entered their postcode. This is user profiles. A person can enter their profiles and enter interests and other information about them, which will enable us to provide the events that are going on around them better served for them. If we go to the host an event page, anyone can host an event through the library. We build a connection between the people and the library. So Go Library is a platform that collates all the events from all the libraries around Scotland, brings them to you in a nicely presented way, and also lets anyone host their own events. Thank you. I would also urge everyone to just have a, if you haven't, like, if it was too fast for you, just go on your phones or web, like tablets or whatever and have a look at the website. Cool.
Okay, thanks very much for that. That is an area which libraries have grappled with for many, many years. So it's really nice to actually see someone pull together a solution for it. I suppose my question's around content. You know, the actual basis of your presentation requires content from the wider community. Have you thought about specific ways that you would actually ensure some breadth of content on the app?
So right now there are huge amounts of events, and what we found by going to the library is that they're all advertised. Maybe most of them are advertised just by posting up a poster in the library, and the person would have to go into the library to see the event. And this way, all the existing events can be seen by everyone easily, and the content, we found that most of the libraries allow people to book their own space, so that does mean that people are interested in booking spaces, and a lot of the rooms are being booked. But there are also rooms that have huge amounts of technology in them, such as musical instruments and all sorts of other things that are not being used. So this will show you what is available, when it is available, and you can easily book it.
So yeah, it's a yeah. So I guess that's my follow-up question. It was brilliant to see that you've built so much really slick, lovely, web app going on there. So well done. But yeah, it's about who does the actual content management, who types in all of that stuff. So is there a reason why people are only advertising on posters right now? Do you see what I'm asking?
I feel like there isn't a platform existing. Like, there's social media, but it's very segregated. It's very all over the place. There's 500 or something libraries, and each library has their own Facebook page, which is not going to have too many likes because they're all from different parts of small towns or big cities or whatever. If it's all in one place, anyone in the country can see an event going on at any library.
Well, we've looked at the Facebook pages of libraries, and the content there is really quite nice. So there are people actually putting nice stories about the events. And if we were to standardize a form where they would fill it up and automatically be uploaded to the app and get delivered as a piece of information to people who are really interested in those type of events. So yeah, there is not a huge amount of new content to be created.
I guess there's some relying on
Right, so we discussed that, and what we found was the 4-year national plan to bring one library card for all of Scotland. And in that way, when people get their new cards, they will be registered to the system and their details will be stored across the whole of Scotland. That way, we can have access to that data, and we will know what everyone's interests are and then serve everyone their events that they want.
Sorry, so I want to add something. Besides, we can, let's say, empower, let's say, the receptionist at the library. They'll say, okay, if you have any event, just it takes like 5 minutes. Just go there, log in the event, and post it out there. This you can, expand the audience. Put you could, let's say, someone, if it's an event happening in Glasgow, someone in Edinburgh might want to attend the event, and doing that will bring more people to that event. So we kind of also empower the, let's say, receptionists, so those the officers, those that are in charge of the library, to have the chance to also log in events into the site. All right.
So, sorry, just to add on that, if somebody was a new host that was creating his own events, I think he would be very excited to really do nice write-ups, to really get nice pictures, nice visuals, and get more people for his events and become famous.
Okay, so can I that was great, and I really enjoyed the presentation. Can I move you slightly beyond events? Because I think you've put your finger on it, really, as Pamela says, it's something that we've grappled with for years, but you also started by talking about libraries as spaces, and you've clearly done some thinking about that. And so events is part of it, but could you see this having an application to look at developing the use of the spaces in other ways? Because, an event's a very specific thing, you're holding something, but is there a way of developing use of libraries in other ways using this?
Absolutely. We thought of the way how we're going to connect the actual databases of libraries that have all the data about the rooms available, about their bookings, about the cost potentially. And once we've done that on the platform, anybody could go in there and say, I'm a company that wants to make a presentation and use please. Absolutely. Don't see any limitations there.
Thanks very much. I think you have a very interesting idea. I think you're underestimating the complexity of content. I think we're all a little bit concerned that getting the right content, right time, accurately on there. But you have a good idea. Let me just ask you a slightly different question. Libraries do let their space out. If you did this on a digital way, what mechanism would your app allow for the library to say, not really, we don't really want to let this to you? How would they have any information to make that negative?
So what we are saying is that if a person wants to host an event, they'll click host an event, but that wouldn't mean that, okay, I filled out my information and this space has been booked for me. No, hosting an event, you fill out a form and that gets sent to the library that you want to book the space into, and the library has to review whether they feel, whether they want to approve it or not. And each person will have their profile, and it's not just going to be, they will have some background information to see whether the person is who he says he is. And
up. And next up, Team Alexandria.
Good evening, everyone. So we are Team Alexandria, and our vision is a library system that actively promotes all aspects of a modern library, and does so in a user-focused and personalized way. So, as pointed out on page 14 of opportunities and ambitions and opportunities. I know that's page 14. I just can't remember the name. Ambitions, opportunities. Research with the public found out that many people are not aware of the broad range of services and resources that their local libraries are currently offering. And this is true for users and non-users alike. So what we propose is a way to actively promote all the resources that the library has to offer, and does so in a way to the user based on their personal interests. So how would that look like? Please meet Vanessa. Vanessa is 22 years old, studies Russian, loves baking, plays the piano, and is new to the city. So Vanessa goes to the library to borrow a book about baking. And she goes there, browses, finds a book as you would expect, and then wants to borrow it. So she signs up with the library. Can do this either on one of the computers or with her local librarian. and signs up and then gets told either by the computer from the screen or by the librarian that she should also please check out the online resources. So she goes home and does that. So she logs in, and what she finds is something like that. So up here, Vanessa in this case is actually called Alexandria. This is fine. It's actually, yeah, but it would be there. So, and then on the top you see all the usual things that you would expect from a library page. So you can manage all your loans. You can see which books you have currently borrowed. You can prolong your books, and so on and so on. But also, in addition, you can register your interest, which is up here. So if she clicks on that, she will be brought to a page with a lot of tick boxes, and there she can register her interests. So these tick boxes are proposed to her by the system and are based on the already existing tagging system that is used at the library. It can then, in the future, be more. So this is the first step, and in the future, it can then can enhance more for her to fine-tune more her interests. So based on the interest that she registers, she's then getting suggested what she should take a look at the library. So, for example, there can be books. The point about that is that it's not only books. It can be all kinds of resources that the library has to offer. It can be books, e-books, music, audio courses. It can be archived materials that is available and would normally not get to see the light of the public. But it can also be events or resources. Other resources can be events, can be courses. It can be an advertisement of the 3D printer that they currently bought. Or it can be the pure fact that they actually have a piano room that you can rent that normally people don't know about. So she's interested in music, so she finds here some sheet music and finds out that she can book the piano room down here, where she gets also informed about the opening hours. She can click on it, gets to the page, and then can directly from there book the room for next week, let's say. And so what's nice about this is the first step that would include all the events that are in the library, taking place at the library. But in the future, it could also be enhanced to include all cultural offers of the civic services. So, for example, if somebody's interested in chess, they could be told, "Oh, please go to the Scottish National Museum and check out the Lewis Chessmen that we have there." So it's a way to connect the library resources with all other cultural offers. And another thing could be in the future, the library could agree to have connections with selected economical people, so they could also promote the event. There's someone who think, oh, this is valuable for the public from a cultural perspective. They could agree that they could promote these events over their webpage, and then could charge a small fee for that, which would then be an additional way to generate revenue and make the whole page self-sustainable, or the whole system self-sustainable. Okay. So let's get back to Vanessa. She now booked her piano room, and then she can also sign up to a newsletter, which is interesting, because this newsletter will have two options. Option number one, so two things. Thing number one is that once a month, she will be informed about the new purchases that the library did, which fall into her fields of interest. So she can say, "Oh, you are interested in crime novels. We recently purchased these and these and these novels by these and these authors. Please come and check them out." So it's an incentive for her to go back to the library and check out what's new. It's a way to actively keep engaged with the user. And it should also have the possibility to flag alerts for current events. So something, oh, somebody just registered Russian learning group over there. Please, are you interested in that? Then come and check it out. One of the good things about the newsletter, and very important, is that this would also be based upon her interests and would be generated automatically. So there's a way to keep the people coming to the library without imposing any further work on the librarians. So she signs up for this, and a week later she gets this newsletter that there is this Russian study group. So she thinks, this is interesting, I go to the Russian study group. At the Russian study group, she meets Anton. Anton is a former pianist, and he didn't know about the piano room neither. So they start bonding about over the topic of their shared passion for Russian piano music, and she finally invites him to come and join her practicing the piano, and they start ending up playing duets at the piano room, and they keep on telling their friends because they were so excited about that. And most of their friends didn't know about the broad range of music offers at the library neither. So they bring all the people together, and suddenly many people are interested in the music offers from the library. So what happens is that this is seen by Jonathan, and Jonathan is the person who's in charge of organizing the library resources, and because we are monitoring all the data that is going on, so that what people are interested in, the topics and the things that people are borrowing, he can check this once a month, or whenever he feels like buying new resources, he can check what people are currently interested in. So you can say, oh, there are lots of people interested in music, we should buy more music. Or he actually had for example, he had the feeling more people are interested in crime novels, but then he looks and he sees that actually interest is going down. He thinks, oh, maybe we should better invest this money into other resources that are currently more interesting or can be more interesting in the future. Okay, so what does this approach do? It raises awareness of all the services that the library has to offer. That means that you don't necessarily have to purchase more resources if you already have interesting resources there. It's just that people are not using them. So this is a way of getting people to use and to appreciate all the resources that are there. So it also encourages users in a personalized but still automatized, easy to use for librarians way to come and revisit the library. And so we pitched this to the users at the central library yesterday, and most of the people that we asked, and we asked people over all age groups, were either interested in the concept for them personally, or they said that they would at least see the value for other people, that they might be other people might be interested in it. So it's also a way to develop and strengthen partnerships with different cultural organizations through this promoting of events. In the end, you could also, for example, have a complementary interface at the National Museum that would then link back to resources at the library. And then we also collect lots of data, and this data can inform staff decisions about stock purchases and about what events to host. And eventually, it can also help to report on the impact of the library and how it fulfills its duties. And in fact, so we were already talking about the list of recommendations, and I counted there were 18, and we think we can actually make a point to at least have a positive impact on 10 of these points with this approach. Thank you for it.
Hi there. So that was a really, really interesting presentation, and I think personalization is such a key thing, right? And we all use Amazon. Well, a lot of use Amazon, and that's one of the key benefits. Now, so the thing that I wanted to pick up on is that recommendation engines typically need scale to work, right? Because you have to have the numbers in order to be able to personalize and target that really well. Is that something that you've thought about, how you would tackle that issue?
So we thought in a first approach. So one of the things about Amazon and the whole scale of Amazon is that basically the market of books out there is unlimited. But we are talking about library resources. They are vast, but they are not unlimited. And we already have some of the tech. So in the first, if you really want to scale down to future, you could put in place all a proper recommendation engine and so on. That is possible, obviously, but would then also require more effort from the computational side. Well, on the other hand, this is something that is by now already developed by many companies, so that can be it can be purchased later. But I think from the beginning, even having the tags would be already nice. So you can just see, people have, for example, you have a book, they have many different tags, and then you can see this person already liked these and these and these ones, and then you can probably just have the numbers on if this is popular or not to have this relatively personal, having a first approach at least already.
Can I just really quickly add, I think it feeds into an approach, a sort of data sharing vision, and if councils were happy to share their data at a higher level, then I think the scale is actually there. So that would be one way we would think about it.
There's particularly also the thing about the events. So one of the things that we wanted to stress is that not only but more about events, other reasons. We have fewer of them already. Even if you have events from the library, there are not infinitely of them. So if you can already have if you at least bring the awareness of the ones that are there,
Thanks for that presentation. You put so much thought into that, and it's an area that we really do need to get to grips with in terms of encouraging use. I'm kind of interested in the user interface, because you talked and understanding what that would look like, because you talked about going to the website and signing up for things, and you talked about getting a newsletter, which is all good, but we're moving, I think, into a phase now where maybe people aren't so keen to go to websites. Maybe people, maybe an email newsletter can go into a junk folder or something like that, which is not a reason for not doing it. But have you thought about other ways of kind of doing push information to users, so that they're it's surfacing, on their phones, on the places that they actually are in the digital sense?
I think, as far as so there are already library apps out there, and you could the same thing. And these are most very often be integrated with the web interface, then also have to be integrated in the app. Then you can have applications they purchase new stuff once a week. Instead of having users every month, you can actually opt in for push notifications on your mobile phone. Get real-time notifications. Oh, when is it? I just thought it goes, "Bling, we bought this."
Thanks for that. I found that really interesting. I'm thinking about this a bit more from hard-pressed library budgets, around purchasing another piece of software, if you like, to sit on top of the already very complicated range of software platforms that are there. Have you given any thought as to how libraries might resource that, how it might be quite attractive for libraries to buy into this?
I think returning to what I said a couple of things ago, I think you're right, and this kind of requires at some level an integrated approach, perhaps, to make it really work, to take the benefit of the data and scale that, and to also see the benefit of this platform where things are integrated. But if you can roll it out at a wider level, then perhaps the benefits weigh out, because you're going to be making savings on knowing what to buy, knowing what people are reading, all this kind of thing.
And there is also, if you really want to see the long-term perspective of it, the thing about that you could have this, the collaboration with I'm a bit doubtful to call them companies, but I'm just missing the right word. Let's say providers of cultural valuable events, for example, that you could then have them sponsoring part of this one in order to actually be able to opt in for their events being promoted. Obviously, always under the condition that the library feels that they fulfill a higher need. One thing that one could say is one could just have an option of proposed tax or proposed interest. I'm interested in this, and you could just have direct feedback there. or you could even just roll out, what do you think? Do you think we need more of these and these and these one? So this is a two-way communication channel, right? Not only that the library promote their services, but you can also directly through the tags give feedback back, and it's basically a way to have basically a way of having a constant survey, of implementing a constant survey of users with respect to their.
Hey folks, you just need to give us 1 minute with this one. Okay. Now next up we have Team Spacebook. So we have Zoe's going to be doing the Q&A, and just to explain, Andrew, who did the presentation which we recorded yesterday, unfortunately can't be with us tonight. So you're going to watch a short video from Andrew, and then Zoe will be demonstrating the website and doing the Q&A. So.
My name is Andrew. I'll be presenting today. My colleagues are Zoe and Sam. So what are the future of libraries? Well, libraries have become so much more than books and stale buildings, or what the perception is of stale buildings. They have become places where you can do everything from genealogy research to playing a musical instrument to looking up online databases. A lot of research has been done on the past trends and the current trends of libraries, and we can kind of get a good picture of where they're going in the future. For example, in the 90s, about 9% of people used the libraries to use mainly for like desk space, and then that moved up to 12% in 2000, and that trend continues to increase upwards. So we can see that it's more than just than reading books. So with this digital age, there's a lot of great opportunities, but there's a lot of challenges that have been faced in society and in libraries in general. In society, a lot of people are feeling more isolated, even with the even with social media and things like that. There's also a continuing challenge where, okay, so now we have a lot of different services offered at the library, but how do people discover which services suit them best and even discover that they're available? So, Bookspace is designed to help solve some of these problems, and Bookspace would be a online platform where you can basically ask, what do you want to do at the library today? For example, if somebody wants to book some desk space, then the filters would be, well, do you need a PowerPoint or a hot point with that desk space? Do you need a computer? Are you going to need to print? And it takes this information and gives a variety of different solutions. Particularly, here's a floor plan of the different spaces that are available, and it pinpoints exactly which area would suit them best, and allows them to book that area in advance so that they know that it's available when the person arrives to that destination. So this product would solve many different themes, strategic themes. Strategic aim number 1, digital inclusion. It allows people to gain access to information and resources and learn about new technology. Economic well-being, strategic aim number 3. So someone that's looking, maybe they're unemployed, looking to find work, well, they can go to the library, find the different resources that best meet their needs, and utilize that. As well as one of the strategic aims was to test and replicate provision of co-working spaces for small businesses. So this is certainly a platform that small businesses may be able to use, especially before they have large office spaces. They can utilize some of the public libraries and put in a specialization field in business, or we're looking in the tech industry. So this is the area in which we want to work in the library and keep that collaboration going. And social well-being, through the surveys and that we did at the library, you can see that many people are looking for that social aspect at the library, and they would be very interested in having a place where you can grab a cup of coffee, work, have a desk space, and things like that. Now, a lot of which, such as the coffee machines and things, are often available at the library. It's just a matter of where and do people know about that. So the sustainability of this, so there's a couple of different revenue streams that could help continue the improvement of this product. Mainly, there are meeting spaces available at libraries for a charge already. So it's a matter of putting this online, seeing when they're available, and perhaps just taking a revenue cut off of that, which is already revenue that the library we're beginning to go into this program and to continue the rollout of the programming and the support that would be necessary. In addition to, when we did the surveys, a lot of people didn't know that there were, in fact, about 80% of the people didn't know that there were meeting spaces available at the library. And this can also help with the increasing the utilization rate. But then the people that did know that there was meeting spaces, there was a particularly one that, they're utilized quite often. So knowing when it's available to be able to use would help increase the utilization rate and the resources, and help the library budget, allocate its budget accordingly. So with these, I think it hits a lot of the strategic themes that Scotland's looking to provide for the patrons of the library. And thank you very much.
So based on our investigation, we developed a web app for booking the space in the libraries, and our main point is to book your space in libraries, and we want our app to be used both on desktops as well as mobile apps, and we divide our users in two kinds. One are members of libraries, that's the users, and another is librarians. And here the users have to choose whether they are members or librarians. And for users who who meet this web app first, we will introduce to them three key functions that are to find a space, to analyze the utilities of the libraries, which is for the librarians, and also the cloud storing of the information, because we want to provide a platform for both the users and the libraries to maybe collaborate together or to exchange their resources. And for the libraries, they can better manage their facilities and develop some service that can better facilitate the citizens. And for the users, they may find what are the accessible service they can book or they can use, and they can better maybe manage their time or their works and find a space for them to further develop themselves. And here we will invite the new users to sign up by providing their emails, and we also provide two entrances for both members and librarians to enter to their homepage. And if as a member I entered here, I will find my booking records, which will be placed in a form, and he can make some revisions or even cancel it. And also there are some bookmarks for the users, so maybe they will be book the space in the future. And also there are the whole floor plans of the library, and here you will see which part of the space provides what kind of service, and you will know where you are and where you'll be studying or where you'll be working, so the user has a clearer impression of the whole system of the service. And if you have any questions, maybe you will be chatting with the staff, so we also provide an online chatting service so that the user can better access to the help that they need. And also we put a search bar at the top because we want them to, like, if they need a some coffee shops or they need the 3D printing service, they can just type the keywords here and they click search. And here it will show some tags to filter the search results. For example, if the user click DVD player and hot desking, and the results will be filtered, and he can browse the pictures as well as the detailed descriptions of the service, and to choose whether he wants to see more or simply book it, or he can even adjust the filters to eventually choose what service that he needs. And in the homepage, we also recommend people to use their mobile phones to better to maybe more efficiently to enjoy this service. So we also provide the mobile interface, and here we design some, maybe it's clearer tags here so that the user can better book the service maybe with a click or cancel it, and at the same time the librarians can maybe to see what service is the most popular ones and what are maybe in high demand, so that they can further develop this kind of service, so the resources can be maybe utilized, and the people will maybe get benefits from it. Yes, and that's all. Thank you.
Hi, thanks very much for that. That was really interesting. I particularly liked the fact that during the presentation you'd considered sustainability and how you might target some income growth from the proposal. What I wondered was, you've got your member, you've got your librarian as your two entrance points to the system, but have you given any consideration to different categories of members? So where members might, for example, have an enhanced service for a fee?
Yes, I think because our target audience are maybe the general public, but for the members of the library, maybe some has maybe some are visually impaired, or some has special needs. Some needs to find some archives. So I think for further development, maybe we will like categorize them into some groups, and for some people with special needs, we will come up with some special functions. I think maybe we will come up with a column that's for maybe archive search, or some are for maybe some people go to library especially for a quiet place for working. So maybe for the functions that are in highly needs, we will maybe separate them from the main functions and give it an extra column for an easier access.
Okay, thanks for that presentation. You've clearly given a lot of thought to what's really an essential thing that we need in a lot of libraries, and that's the management of space. And I like the way that you've structured that. I guess taking a step back from that is where the presentation started was with people's lack of knowledge of what's available in the libraries. So I guess what I'm wondering is, how would the users find out about the service in the first place? So you've got a good technical solution there, but how do we promote it to people who don't know what the library's got to offer?
Yes, and that's what we should include here, like in the introduction web page. We actually want to introduce the key functions of this app, and maybe educate people how to use it. And I think maybe we will like elaborate further on the functions, and maybe show some tutorials on how to easily use this app. And in that case, maybe people will find this is maybe it's an easier way to get access to libraries. Or I think it may in some sense change their impression about the library. It can be an easier service, as easy as maybe Airbnb or something like that. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking that it sounds like Airbnb for library spaces. No questions from me.
Okay.
Mine's similar to the question we've asked a lot of the presenters is, how can you be sure that you've got accurate data going into your system? Is the data you found out there, or are you expecting library services to provide this data? I didn't understand that bit of your...
Yes. I think for the data issues, maybe it also contains some issues like security or privacy. I think this may rely on some technical skills, like maybe big data or cloud storage. I think with these techniques, it can ensure that the data is widely collected and it's accurate to the person, and the librarians can manage these with the help of the platform that we provide. And I think maybe it relies on the big data this kind of maybe techniques, and to ensure that the information is real and it's manageable, and so that it can be used, maybe it can be applied in not only Central Library but also other libraries.
Our penultimate talk, we have JBS Inc. with Library Go, not to be confused with Go Library.
Sweet. Hello? Oh, okay. I'm Jack, and we are JBS Inc., and our app is Library Go, and this is Basil, and Stefan is not here right now, but he's doing something else. Oh yeah, so we've made our app, and there's a demo at the end, so from the QA, just ask if you'd like to see it. So what gave us the idea? So we thought, why do people not go to the library in our age group? So then we asked ourselves, why do we not go to the library? And then, so we thought, like, it's not that fun, it's not, like, we don't know what they have to offer, put it like that. And so we thought, how can we make the library fun and interactive? So we thought of, like, a quiz idea, or like a scoring, like a points-based thing to make the library like an achievement or like a goal, or you just go to the library and get points, make it fun. So then that ended up, then we thought of Pokemon Go as well, so how can we build on that? And that hence the name Library Go. We ended up keeping the score system and then doing like an achievement thing. So yeah, I've got it here. Oh yeah, what is Library Go? Library Go is a gamification of the library with a rewards-based system that invites people to take part in their local library, where they can complete achievements and gain rewards. So why would the library use Library Go? Library Go provides a way for the librarians to notify them of what's going on in their library. So through the notification system, you can have like events, you can have like use the 2D printer, use a 3D printer, and from that they will get a score by taking part in the library. So events, courses, meetups, all can be part of this. So yeah, this is our library achievement manager. So LAM for short. So you can add your name of the achievement, add the description of the achievement, when it's created, when you plan to expire, so for like meetups or certain events. And then the librarian would have this end. So if people attend the event, they just click show the QR code. People would have the app, and we've got another video of this working. They would have the app, and they just scan the QR code, get their points. So we've got this thing like incentive to use the app. So with these points, you can claim rewards from the library. And so what we're thinking is, like, libraries can offer free cups of coffee. Say if you're late on returning a book, you could just be like, oh, you've got enough score, we'll just take it off that. But it's just like, the whole point of having the score is that you show that you go to the library, you take part in the library, and you can be rewarded slightly from the library just to show your commitment to it. So yeah, this is our video of the app working. Yeah, so you log in, so talk for talk, and then password for. So yeah, there's the achievements they've already got, and then this is what you'd see. You scan the QR code, and there you go, historians down at the bottom. So the types of achievements, so you could have time-based achievements, so you can set that on the library achievement manager. There's a wee box that says per hour, so however long you spend in the library you get points, and it just all depends on your location. And then QR codes, so that would be like borrowing books, so you'd have to go to the librarian and be like, hey, I borrowed this book, or using a 2D printer, connecting to the Wi-Fi. That could be just an automatic thing because local libraries can set this up. And then like attending events, classes. Yep. So why would the users use Library Go? It's a notification system. You can claim rewards, so free cups of coffee, like who doesn't like that? It's easy to use, so yeah. So types of rewards. So you can maybe get printing credits. I've already talked about this, but yeah, just extended time on library computers, because if they go to it, like why not? Just give them a bit more time if they need it. Free events, courses, reduction on late fines, free books, vouchers, free tea and coffee. So how does this fit into the future of libraries? So libraries can have a better insight of what people use like in their day-to-day lives. So borrowing books, where they'll just be sitting in the library, you can see what they do from the achievements they collect and get. and the library can tailor their needs to this. So thanks for listening, and any questions? Also, Basil has a demo if any of you would like to see that.
Hi there. Well, Kate's looking at the demo, which is fascinating. That was a really, really interesting presentation. And as I'd asked one of the previous groups about sustainability, I just wondered if you thought there was any way that it could perhaps, this product could be used with other incentive schemes that are out there for young people.
Yeah, like Young Scots, we heard about that. So yeah, we'd love, like, that would be such a cool thing to do, and even integrate it with the library app that Edinburgh already have. Just make it all one. It's all there. It's easy enough to do.
Thanks very much. I have no questions. Very clear presentation.
Okay, thanks.
I'm very impressed by the fact that to me, technically it's a QR code generator with the database and a QR code scanner. Really clever though how you've applied it. I guess my question is, it works great for events because you can imagine checking in. It's like when you check in, you just, if you have it, ping, it's done. When you have other things instead of events, like borrowing a particular book or borrowing the fifth book, then you need to start integrating with existing systems. Is that something that you've thought about or wondered?
Basil would probably be better asking this because he did the server side stuff, but I did like the front end, the app stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's really cool idea, by the way. So I'm just asking hard questions.
Could you not just repeat it, Basil? Sorry.
Sure. Hi, Basil.
What was the question?
So I was just saying that doing it QR code generation for events,
Yes.
super easy, super cool. You can imagine when you check into an event, when you go to an event, perhaps to do it.
Right.
But when you have to start doing, things like, hey, you've borrowed your fifth book. Here's some points. Then you have to start integrating with the existing systems.
Yes.
Is that something that you've thought about how
Yes,
that might happen?
There was definitely some ideas to integrate it with existing systems. Either with the actual login, well, the actual user ID in the library to get the data from the library. But you could also integrate it. We had the idea of sharing it with multimedia, well, the social media, with Google, Facebook, so you could share with your friends the type of book you're interested in and kind of thing. So earlier on, we talked about the quiz as well, and that kind of went into the whole idea of gamification of the library. You could challenge your friends on a quiz over books you've read, or challenge your friends to read a book you find really interesting and then quiz them afterwards on the subject. Yes, does that?
That sounds good.
Okay.
I think you've probably slightly gone where I was going to go there, but I'll ask it anyway. I like where you started from, obviously, which is kind of why don't you use the library, and you've got the reward kind of thing in there.
Mm-hmm.
How far could you go with the rewards, do you think? Well, there's some great rewards you've got on there, but how imaginative could libraries get with the rewards that they could offer for you? What would excite you about, what rewards would excite you?
So there was also, as part of the rewards, there was an idea of free talks, possibly. But I think what is really interesting is not only is for free talk, but it's a talk that might be targeted to your interests, because the data comes in of like what books you read, how much time you spend. So the library could maybe figure out then a few users like go on a Friday evening and they seem to be all interested in programming. So why not organize a programming class for these people at that time, or a talk, and then give it for free because they have lots of points. So it's better than just any reward. It's a reward for these people.
Yes, so you're dynamically interrogating the data that you're getting in
Exactly.
and saying we could target that. Yeah, that's great.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say like, never mind.
Okay, and now finally we have Rachel Wilmer.
Hello, good evening. So as you can tell, there's a few things that are different about me than our previous speakers, one of which is I'm a team of one. Also, I wasn't able to be here for most of the weekend, which is really disappointing to me because it looked like an amazing weekend. But I'd particularly like to thank Gina Wilson and Gillian Daly for the help they gave me on the Friday morning when I did arrive. One of the other things about me you might notice, but you might be polite enough not to mention, is I look a bit old. And you know, we have this thing of digital natives and digital immigrants. I'm a digital pensioner. I have been on the internet programming it for 32 years, so I have a different attitude to it perhaps than some of you younger people. And the most important thing about my talk is I didn't come here with just a blank sheet of paper. I've actually come with an existing system, so you should bear that in mind when you see what I'm about to present to you. I've just made an addition to something that already existed. So my title is Library eBook Search is Easy with LuzMe. LuzMe is my website. It started as a side project. The point of it was to make it easy for me to find the ebooks I wanted to buy online. I'll have to point out, I did not do this design. Beautiful intern did this for me. I do most things. I cannot do design to save my life. Who am I? Yes, good question. I am a developer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a freelancer. Once upon a time, I looked like that. That's when I had my last .com company. But most importantly, I'm a book lover. That's where LuzMe started from. I was trying to solve my own problem. I needed to find ebooks that I wanted to buy, and there wasn't an easy way to do it, so I started to build something. So LuzMe is probably the best ebook search engine you have never heard of. It is used by about 10,000 people worldwide. It's got currently actively monitoring about 250,000 books every day to check that the prices haven't dropped. And I'm just taking data sources from everywhere, all sorts of different formats. I do data munging like nobody. That's what I love doing, is playing with data. So I came here with a different attitude, perhaps, to some of the people who've presented before me, and I have to say, fantastic presentations. I've come away with great ideas from what you've been talking about. But my thing, I was trying to figure out, I have this system that I've already built and people are already using it. And I love libraries. They've been a part of my life since I've been 4 years old. They've been my haven. They've been my educational place of learning. They've just been something I care about. I care about their future. And when I came on Friday morning and I read the brief and I read the strategy, it just spoke to me. And I was thinking, what can I take out of that excellent brief? What can I take? What one thing can I take and do something with this weekend? So, ebook search, that happens to be what my site is about. There were two things that were mentioned in it, one of which is we have to develop and promote the core offering, which is getting education out to people across Scotland. And the second thing is that ebook catalogues are hard. Searching is hard. So I thought, how can I play with those two things and also do something that will scratch my own itch, because that's what I tend to do, because I'm a developer. I like hacking code. So I have always wanted to have the excuse to try to get library search into LuzMe. So that's what I've done over this weekend. I live in Edinburgh, so Edinburgh City Libraries was my target for this. That was my goal. Why is it hard? Well, because when you say search, what you mean is a broad thing. Search is not what you want. What you want is to find. You don't care about the joy of searching. You care about the joy of finding the thing that you were looking for. And that means different things to different people. And I put a few sort of examples up here behind me. Some people just want, I know I read books, I love crime fiction, I want the next one. I finished this one, I want the next one. But I'm also an entrepreneur. Sometimes I just need a book that's going to solve my problem today. How do I make money out of what I'm doing? How do I do marketing? How do I do blah, blah, blah? We go to libraries, we go to books, we go to learning for different reasons. Search means all of those things. So how do you find? You find by doing different things. When I finish a book in a series, I know I just want the next one in that series if it was good. That's a simple thing. But sometimes if I'm trying to think, well, I want to learn jazz piano. How do I do that? I know a book's going to be part of it, but how do I find that book? I would ask somebody. They will recommend me a book. Sometimes it's an online person, sometimes it's somebody down the jazz club. There's different ways of learning. What we should be doing with searching and with finding is doing that online in the same way that we do in the physical world. So on Friday, I've had to spend some of the time at weekend at home, so I've been sitting there hacking away at my code base, and I did it. So it's not going to be public, it's not going to be part of my general release of the system I've got, but for my purposes, I now have an integration with Edinburgh City Library's ebook catalogue into my own system, and I'm so chuffed with that, because what that means. And you can see this is actually, this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot. What it means is that now, just for me, because I can't make this public yet, because it's just a hacky code base, is that now, because I have a watch list that's within my own LUSME system, I've hooked it up to the Edinburgh City Libraries. I'm going to run a script every night. So now when the books that are on my watch list that I know I want to read and they're available through the library, I'm going to send myself an email. Woo! So what does that actually mean? I mean, this has been good fun, and I've really enjoyed it. But what do I do with it now? Or what could I do with it now? And all of the other people who were doing presentations earlier, one of the questions that kept coming up was, what do you do with it? How do you make money from it? How do you sustain it? How do you support that thing? And so that's the question I'm doing with this now. I've hacked this code. It's working fine for me. I'd like to actually take this broader. I'd like to do something with this within the Scottish system. It seems to me that I've written some code here that could be useful to the online strategy that we're trying to put forward. I don't know how, but I like it. I would like it to be part of that strategy. I'd like it to be part of the library. I would like people to just find the books that they want, because the books matter, learning matters, and libraries matter. Thank you. I know the judges. I was watching Strictly last night.
Oh, it's far, far worse than that. Thanks for that. That was fascinating, and it's great to see something kind of done that quickly, and there's huge potential in it, absolutely, and you know that from the strategy. Because of that, I'm going to ask a really unfair question. Finding is really, really important, as you say, but you find in order to use, and the biggest challenge we face with ebooks is licensing and downloading and actually getting people to use them in a consistent way. So I suppose my question is, do you see a way, how do you see moving forward from, you can integrate this so that I can find my ebook. The ebook's in Aberdeen libraries because we're searching the whole of the UK, which we should, the whole of Scotland, which we should be. But Aberdeen has a different licensing system to Edinburgh, and I might fail at that point. So that's why it's an unfair question, because it's not what you're trying to you're pitching here. But where do you see that going as well?
Where I see it going, it depends on whether you're talking about fiction or non-fiction. And in both cases, I think self-publishing, because if you talk to self-publishing people, then the quality of some of their books is as good or better than the traditional publishing model, and that you just don't have these issues because they want their books to be out there. And I want to give you a wee example of why this matters, because with LUSME, I've had a couple of commercial contracts, one of which is with a publisher who was one of the biggest publishers in the UK. They owned the title to all of their own books. They could publish any book they wanted anywhere in the world, and they still had licensing problems because internal markets within their own business meant that there's a power struggle going on. So the way you solve the problem is, unless you actually have to, if this particular book has that licensing issues and you need it to be that book, you have that problem. There are other books, there are other channels, and people should not think that self-publishing is a low-quality channel. I know some stupendously good authors who are making a ton of money selling really quality good books to people who want to buy them, license them, and borrow them.
Cool. So, yes, I love this. How would you monetize it? I would totally pay you for this. full stop.
Great.
Right? But not all of the money, maybe like some sort of money. But so my question is more around physical books, right? Because what I really would like is for me to go out to Amazon, have some Chrome extension so to say that, hey, actually, the book you're about to buy is available through Edinburgh City Council.
I have the answer for that.
Yes.
Okay,
Awesome.
so what you have is you have your Amazon account, you have your Amazon wish list, you have a LuzMe account. You put it on your Amazon wish list and you attach that to your LuzMe account. LuzMe takes it from Amazon, knows that you want it, tells you that you can get it from Edinburgh. That's basically what I built this weekend. Because I had the Amazon bit already.
But you've only got e-books and you get physical books.
Yeah, if you'll pay me. Yeah. I mean, it's the physical book is easier than the ebook because with the physical book you've got a better certainty about things like ISBN numbers, whereas with the ebook it's totally. And also, LuzMe is ebook at the moment, but it's audio book, it's physical book, it's whatever. That's the reason I changed the name, because the original name for the site was ebookprice.info. Which tied it to ebooks and to ebook prices, and I just thought digital is better than ebooks. So yeah, certainly I can do that, and we can talk pints of beer.
Hi, thanks. I really enjoyed your presentation, and also just for tackling the thorny problem of ebook lending through public libraries. I just wondered if LuzMe could actually sit across the different suppliers of ebooks.
Well, because I don't actually do the supply. All I do is the finding of where you can get it. So with the library, I've just hacked in a little bit of code in front of the library website, so that I have a library account. I will borrow it from the library. I just need to know that it's there, that I can. Same with Amazon, same with Kobo, same with Barnes & Noble. My site does not actually supply the books. It just does the finding and the searching.
I suppose it's the same question that I was just ask you. To reverse this is for the ordinary user to say, you can link these to your Amazon account. Is that what you're saying? Not for ebooks, physical books.
Yep. So Amazon have this thing called the wish list, which you can make public, or you can keep it private. If you make it public, then I can scrape it. If I can scrape it, I can use it. And I don't do that for people that have not asked me to. But if you have an account through my website and you've said, I would like you to look after my Amazon wishes, I will go and check it. I will go and store it in my own database, and then I will monitor the stuff that's in that database, so that I can then say, and this is what I think is one of the valuable things, is I now know what people want. I've got 250,000 books that people want, so I can now start doing some research on that data and going, well, business books, what do people want? Fiction books, crime fiction, that's one of the things I want. What do they want? So the recommendations I can come up with from that data, now I've got real data from real people, I think it's really valuable, because it means I can hopefully come out doing recommendations based on not what they're trying to sell you, but what people actually want.
Okay, so thank you so much to all of our participants, all of our teams for the presentations now. The judging begins. So I am going to ask all of the participants now to vacate the room, and I will insist that you please finish all of the beer, pizza and Prosecco that's sitting next door. Our judges will remain here and deliberate. Don't worry, we'll bring you beer, pizza and Prosecco. And we'll reconvene here in 10 to 15 minutes. On your way out, you will be given a voting slip. Don't vote for your own teams. Thank you.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation, moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get on well, we're working hard, taking maps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what a hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit of expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice, so it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation, moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get on well, we're working hard, taking maps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what a hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit of expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice, so it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation, moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get well, we're working hard, taking maps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with the technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice, and it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation, moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get well, we're working hard, taking maps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with the technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice, and it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get on well, we're working hard, taking naps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice and it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ines, and I'm here because I thought it would be an interesting experience, meeting a lot of cool people with good ideas.
I'm Giovanni, and I'm a mechanical engineering student at Edinburgh University. So to come to have opportunity to learn something.
So libraries have always been about innovation, and this for us is about finding the next step of innovation moving into a digital age.
I think if libraries open up their data to the public, it opens it to new, unforeseen uses.
We're really excited about the kind of ideas that people who are not maybe typically library users or maybe not library professionals will come up for us.
It's been fantastic. I found a really great team with me, these people here I'm working with. We've got a great idea and we're tackling some issues that I really think we could do some good work on.
The team is great, we're going to get on well, we're working hard, taking naps on the beanbags, it's good.
I never know what could come up from this.
To be able to help and give an idea of what would be relevant and appropriate on the ground in libraries has been fantastic.
I didn't think that we would be able to actually have that amount of input.
It's been really interesting in that the people with technological skills have their particular skill set. We as library professionals have our particular skill set, and when you mesh them up together, there's so much potential there.
Yeah, we didn't even know what hackathon was, really, until we walked in this morning. We've met some people that have actually got really great ideas and just need that wee bit expertise from our side of things.
I'm really quite excited about the work we've done in our team. I think that there's real positive benefits that could come out of this.
It's actually been quite exciting.
It's been really good, I think.
Really good.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's a great environment and everyone's really nice and it's great.
I'm Gina Wilson, I'm from the Carnegie UK Trust.
I'm Gillian Daly, Head of Policy and Projects at the Scottish Library and Information Council.
And this is the Future Libraries Product Forge.
Libraries have always been about equality of opportunity.
My name's Ewan, and I've come here to network and hopefully build something really, really cool.
Hi, I'm Ina.